Here we are back again after a nice break, a nice mandarinada of Chios, the local drinks here. No chewing gums yet, but later on. We go to the third part, an equally important part, like Chios and the migrants, and this is the development of the island of Chios, which has to offer a lot, not just for the locals, but to humanity. Mr. Mayor, what do you think about the development from all aspects, from tourism, from education, from sports, from any aspect, Tanju? Tell us.
Well, look, I think that the beginning is that this place, this island, can be self-sustained in the economic
context.
Yes. In the economic context. How can that happen? There are three major sectors of economic development where we should focus. The first and biggest, from my point of view, is the one on the marine trading and seamen. We have the human capital. We have also schools here, and we should focus on education, not only of locals but also of the international community. If someone wants to be educated, if someone wants to get the qualifications, we should make it that he comes on Chios, he or she comes on Chios. There are basic schools, secondary schools, a very good university on marine studies, and we can do that for two reasons. First of all, you live in an environment where the sea is also embedded into the blood of people here, and how to live on the sea, how to trade on the sea. And secondly, you can also meet here maybe your future employers. So,
quite right.
So it's here the area, the reactor where things happen, and I see them happening actually outside of the mayor's house, or outside in the Aplataria, or in the harbor. In the evenings, during the evening, you see things happening, and this actually is the definition of what we say a hub. So this is a hub. We should just make it more clear to everybody and available to everybody. The second sector of the local economy, I think, is the ecotourism. Chios has been given from the nature and from its history and a unique interrelationship between the history and the environment, which is very well maintained. It is very well kept so far. And we should make it also available. And to do that, we must develop the infrastructure needed. That is, airport, a new port, or the development of the existing port, modernization today, and also those small but really big things, such as, for example, public service, bus service. There should be a normal and well-functioning bus service. All that we're going to make them, some of them, those for which the municipality is responsible, we are going to establish them in the new ESPA with a new program, those called as a new, let's say, a qualification treaty, I would say, for all the people participating in this sector of the island. The third sector of development is the secondary development of those products, natural products, which are unique for Chios, with the major one, Masticha, which is very well known, already a very good brand name, and citrus trees, oranges, all that, which are produced also in a unique environment, in the traditional settlement of Campos, with all the history around this very agricultural product, and the agricultural product around all this history, this unique environment, this society. We should focus on this secondary development of those unique products to take the added value that they have.
Mayor, you mentioned earlier on about the airports, the ports. Chios, by lack of nature, has at this very moment two ports, the port of the capital and one at Mestat.
Yes.
But Chios, in the view that we see in the context of people, the affluent, of course, and the non-affluent, they need marinas. And these people you know, they are interested for major sea sports. And as Chios is called the island of the winds, which is an important issue, why not not just have the classic Aegean regattas, but to have the beginning of the tall ships in the Mediterranean, to be the beginning, to start from Chios, go down to Suez, down to Gibraltar, and back to Chios, and make really the sea of peace, because sports and education and products are interrelated and really makes a different environment. Notwithstanding this, you mentioned about this unique environment and conditions to cultivate products. You know better than me that Chios has 101 species of orchideas, which no other place.
It's our natural heritage. Yeah.
So these issues are very important, and as you mentioned, the education aspect, this university here, I guess that other countries with not so much maritime heritage, and maritime heritage is contained in shipowning and seamanship, we should arrange with the respective ministries to enhance the University of the Aegean in Chios, and have also, we like it or not, the English language to attract international students.
Definitely.
In the way that other nations worldwide they have, even as far as Tokyo.
Definitely. You cannot have people educated only in Greek if you want to be an international hub.
And the marina, it is very important because the weather conditions here enhance the mind to adventure. And Chios is the island of the adventure, and we have to do it. Equally on the land of Chios, this unique, I may say, landscape, a different north with a different south, can really be the impetus for the Chios Rally. Cars, all these things that they will bring income to the local economy, and not to have only to stand on one issue of earnings. This will be the important issue. And I guess from what we see, that in the tourism thing, we saw your meeting that you had with the people of the Greek telecommunications, I was reading the other day, the ecological aspects with the change of the plastic bag to the woven one. These things is what the international tourist fraternity they like to see, and not an organized tourism in a way that the books say, but a more free ecological one, that everybody has a good time. So we would like in the coming months when we meet again to say an initiative from your good self, you might put something, a hint on, to make Chios a pilot island for Greece and the European Union, because you said earlier on you believe in federal Europe. Fine, okay. To make this island change, and that will be able to absorb, if I may say so, the difficulties that the international recession has brought, the migrants issue, which in our view is the number one thing, and to change completely the fortunes of the people of Chios. And this pilot scheme island, after 10 years, it will go, for example, to Thassos, it will go to Zakynthos, to other places, or even to Italian islands, or to Croatia, for example. We need to see scheme pilotage programs, but Chios, it's very, very important. The crossroads of two civilizations meet in Chios. It was not by chance that the Genovese ruled with Mahona the island to control trade and geopolitics.
And I totally agree with you, and that's why we called 1 month ago almost the Commission of the Peripheries of the EU, and we had here members, and actually that's what they understood here, that there is something very special happening on, and we should stress and maybe establish such a mechanism of a pilot scheme, as you say that. I would say that in all that you refer to, the beginning is the human factor, the heart of it. And since you mentioned the international championships in sailing and all that, We had this year, for example, the Greek the championship of the small boats,
Sailing boats.
Yes, the sailing, the small sailing
Dinghies
boats.
and things like this.
Yeah, this small class of the optimists,
Okay.
and it has gone by far better than any other championship the last years. Not with infrastructure, but with the people who were involved in the Chians who were involved in that. Last year we had the beginning here of the Aegean Regatta in the new marina of Linia, that is at Volissos, a brand new, very well equipped marina which can really host not a great number, but a small number of people who know what they are trying to do, what they want to see, and it's actually on a crucial point in the Aegean, on the west side of Chios. And we are now focusing on the port of Chios, a very big part of it to be transformed into a marina, in a city marina, which is not going to be a commercial one, those where you go and you are outside of the city, you are within the city, you are dealing with businesses as the locals do, and you are going to the shops, to the restaurants, where also locals do, and so you feel that with your boat you got into a local society. I think this is what today's tourist or a person really wants, and mostly because many of them are Chians, those who are trying to attract with their boat. That's what they really want to do. But all that need a completely new framework. That's why we're working for 2 years now in zoning in Chios, in planning. Planning has been lost in the past. It's about 40 years that there has not been any planning. We're focusing on that. It's a very hard job, but it is the first layer of infrastructure that you need in order to have any investment. Today an investor comes here and says, where can I do that? Say, I cannot really tell you, because there might be this problem, there might be the other problem. So, planning. A small businesses park, which we are trying to establish, because people must have an easy way to develop their business. They cannot run around and say, maybe in this location, the other location. The zoning of all of Chios, this is the basic infrastructure, but there is something which is not on our hand, but it is on everybody's hand. We should completely modernize legislation in Greece. Legislation in Greece is about 40 years back, and we find it every day. The 90% of our power today, all people involved in the municipality, they are young people who are ready to do new things and who have new ideas. Where the 90% of our time is spent into dealing with issues of the past, of the 80s, of the 70s, of the 90s, and issues which are simple to be resolved, but there is
too much red tape.
This monster of legislation, which is not anymore serving the society. It is self-serving itself, and not the society. If we want to have laws are a tool for the society. They are not in order to obey to them and not know for which scope.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard this live interview as it comes from the mayor of Chios, who is a local mayor here, and not doesn't come from other places, which unfortunately we have seen. Legislation is important. We hope that we are here again to meet, and in the next interview, I'm sure the mayor will have something spectacular to announce about reviving really Chios and cut his red tape off. This is John FARACLAS from All About Shipping with the mayor of Chios, Manolis Vournous. Have a lovely weekend. Over and out.